Hey everyone, a little while ago I did a ComputerCraft video showing how the Rednet Cable colours could be output with the bundled output, and I labelled that as ComputerCraft 1.6, and someone pointed out that it was actually 1.58. I do apologise, I was using Tekkit and I had got confused with the mods that I was using on my vanilla Minecraft that I'd installed myself and the mods in that pack. But I did find a couple of workarounds so you could do it in the new 1.6 ComputerCraft. I'm using 1.63 here, and the way it's done is using the normal redstone output, but you take that signal of 1 to 15 and you convert it to a variable which you then use to control the colours you want with one of these programmable Rednet controllers. So what this one does, this is a more simple of the solutions. This one just allows you to output any one colour. So you take your output from your computer here on whatever colour you're inputting it, and we convert it to variable 0. And then if variable 0 with these equals gates here, we say if it's equal to constant 1, output our first colour. If it's equal to constant 2, output a second colour. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that's all it is. So you can just output one colour with this call. So it's redstone dot set analog output back is where it's coming out from 11. So as you can see, we've got 11 lit up there, and if we check the variable on here, we'll see that variable 0 is equal to 11. So that's all it does. We use a pass-through and some equals gates. Now this is a more complicated version of that, and we shall go into that now. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a quick run through of how this works, this setup, and then I'm actually going to build it in this video so you could replicate it yourself. So what this does here, as you can see, I've got 4 programmable Rednet controllers here. And let me open up the computer and I'll try and explain it. So if we have, say, we've got a 16-digit binary number. So let me do that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Right, so just make sure that's still there. Okay, so that represents these colours here, and that's how it'd be out. That was how it output before. So if before you said bundled output whatever side, and you had said that representation of that 16-digit ones in binary which is 65,535. If you'd put that into the bundled output, all of these would have come on. Or if you put any combination of those numbers, I wrote down one here as an example. If you wanted the first, second, third, 6th, 10th, 12th, 14th and 16th colour on, you would output 43,559, because that would be where, if you had a 1 in the first, second, third, 6th, etc. columns of the binary. We're quite lucky the fact that Redstone can output a signal of 1 to 15, because if you split this binary number into 4 and you were to take these as 4 numbers that you're outputting, well, 1, 1, 1, 1, so 4 ones in binary is 15. So what you can then do is go, okay, well, output a signal to the left, to the right, up and down, for example, and represent these 4 sections of the binary, and that can be your 4 numbers. So for example, if you look at these blocks here that I've got on top, well, this would be the first chunk here, so this would actually be the number 1 to 15. But this number here, this would be the number 1 to 8 in binary, or the column that represents 8. So that would be the 8s, the 4s, the 2s, the 1s. This one would represent the 16s, the 32s, the 64s, the 128s, the 256, 512, 1024, 2048, and then this would be the big numbers of 4096, 8192, 16384 and 32768. And the way we sort of do that is, okay, so let's just delete this. So say we did have that 1111, well, 16 ones. What you do is you've got your decimal number there, and the first thing you say, okay, is it divisible by 32,768? So if you divide it by 32,768, is that greater than or equal to 1? Yes, put a 1 in. Now this will actually be the 8 column on the 4-digit we send out. So what we're doing is we're just taking those numbers. Okay, so take that 32,768 away. With the rest of that number, can we divide it by 16,384? And is that greater than or equal to 1? Yes. Okay. Take that away. Is it divisible by 8,192 and greater than or equal to 1? That result? Yes. Is it divisible by 4,096 and greater than or equal to 1? Yes. Okay. Next section. Okay, so that's how output to the left, our first chunk we're putting out. So that's kind of how this works. So if we just do this, I'll show you that it does actually work. So 65535, so that would basically be everything up to the binary number that would be represented by a 1 in the 17th column. See all our lights come on here. And just quickly going over how this works here is, so as you can see, so this is our lowest one here. So we've got input from the left here, which has come from that. We convert that to a variable. Now what we do on this one here is we now, rather than before where we just say, okay, is it equal to this, we output a colour. What we're going to do on this one is, with output, we say, okay, is variable 1 equal to constant 1? If so, variable 1 is active. Variable 2, variable 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we need to use a series of OR gates. Now one of the things with these programmable Rednet controllers is they don't seem to like if you have multiple things controlling a colour. So what we can't simply go, okay, of all the numbers that would have to output the first colour, do an OR to do that, because there would be 8 numbers that would potentially, you'd have to have that one output, and we've only got these OR 4 inputs. So what we have to do is, rather than going, okay, this controls the white colour and that controls the white colour, we have to go, okay, and unfortunately I've done the 1 on the end of this. We go, okay, this 4 set of variables, numbers that would output the first colour, that's variable 16. This 4 set of numbers, which would also output the first one, that's variable 17. And if we go through, we then go, okay, if it's variable 16 or 17, output the white. It's just, for some reason, it doesn't like it if we do it otherwise. So that's what we do there, is we go, let's go back to the start there. Okay, 16 and 17 represent that 1 column being active. 18 and 19 represent the 2 column being active. So if the number you put in is 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 14, 15 or 2, then you should be setting on the second colour. So for example, if we output 3, we should be seeing both the second and the first ones being output. 19 and 20 do the 4s, sorry, 20 and 21 do the 4s, and 22 and 23 do the 8 column. And then these last OR gates output that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly build that now for you to see how it's done, and do the program here that sort of puts it all together and splits it up. So yeah, see you in a sec. Okay, so here we are. Let's start building this and try and make it as concise as possible. So first of all, we're going to need a computer, and we're going to need 4 Rednet controllers. So what we're going to do here is, let's just put some Rednet cable there and some Rednet cable. So these are the 4 outputs we're going to have. I'll put controller there, controller there, controller there, Now we just want to use our position sledgehammer to turn that around. We just get rid of this one, should be able to see. Yeah, okay. So we've got our 4 inputs there. So they're all coming into the left, and there's a reason for this is we're actually just going to copy one once we've made it and duplicate them all over. So if we now take, we want an output coming from that one, that one, that one, that one. So we want all the outputs coming out to the right. Here. Now it doesn't matter that this one's going to have an input from the bottom because we're only going to be taking the input from the left. Now the other thing we're going to need is these logic expansion cards. We need the ones that have got 5 variables on them, and I won't make this longer by showing how to build those. So what we want to do is fill all of these up with these logic expansion cards, and we'll do it here as well. Just quickly turn that around, just double check. Yep. Okay. And the final thing is we're going to want to be able to see how this is going. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's up 16 colours we're checking. Oops. And now, we'll do this from the back so it actually looks like, oop, that's not good. There we go. We will do this in the order that an actual binary number would go in. So as you can see, all I'm doing here is just going up one colour for each one of these. I do apologise, this is taking a while to do. As you see, it's a bit finicky, is you have to actually be clicking on this band here and not the cable itself, otherwise it changes the mode. So there we go. This is if you've got any sort of RSI, you're probably going to want to take a break when doing this, because I have very, very mild RSI and this hurts like hell after a while. There's so many clicks. Okay, so almost there. Last 3 colours to do. And here we go. There we go. Right, so we've got our colours there and we've got this set up. Now I've also got that around the wrong way. There we go. Yeah. Okay, so now we just want to put these Rednet, before we do the program we want to do the Rednet controllers. So what we're going to do is to make this as easy as possible, we'll say that the left hand side represents the leftmost digits on the binary numbers, the right hand side represents the right handmost digits. We'll say that that one is of the middle chunk of 8, the back one is the lowest set, the top one is the highest set. So let's open up this one here. Now don't really want to click on that with sledgehammer, so we'll do it with this. So as you can see, we've now got 36 logic gates. So the first thing we want to do is do a pass through. So if we go down here, pass through input from the left, and we want to put that to variable 0. Next we're going to need a load of equals gates, so we're going to say variable 0 is equal to constant 1. If it's equal to constant 1, output variable 1. And then we're going to do that for all the numbers up to 15. Now there may be a more simple way to do this. I will happily give that, and if someone does know a way, awesome. Definitely please do share it with everyone, because this gets really, really tiresome having to do this. If you ever get confused with these variables that you're doing, always remember that because our first one's a pass-through, the variable here that we're going to be doing for these first 15 is going to be one less than the number we're on there. So we're on number 7 there, so we're going to be doing 6. Okay, so let's go through all these. Next equals variable 0, 8, variable 8, and equals 9. Oh, 8. Done something wrong there. Didn't do 7, did I? Not listen to my own advice. Okay. Next equals. If you're wondering why these go sort of different things, is if when you got here, so I'll tell you what I'm actually clicking on the next one. So we got equals here is left click to go forward to variables, left click to go forward, so right click is back, left click is forward, so we want to do 10 here. Now if you left click here, it actually goes through outputs and circles to variable, but if you right click, it goes back to variable. So we'll do that. Excuse me. Right, so we've got a few more numbers to do. Got to do 11 here. Next one, 12. As you see what I mean, this is a lot of clicking. But the good thing is we can save ourselves some time in a minute, because once we set this up once, we can actually copy it with a memory card to all the other ones. So we're doing 14 here. And the last one is 15. So here we go. Now, I know I explained earlier that it doesn't like, we'll set this time. There we go. So, just in case you didn't understand why you do what you're doing here, if we just make a, I don't know, binary X for explanation. So if we type out our binary numbers here, so if we go 1, so that's 001, so 0001 equals 1, and then we go 0010 equals 2, 0011. So if we do this all the way to 15, you'll understand, if you're not particularly comfortable with binary, why I'm doing what I'm doing here. And so it's 1000 9 10 11 oops 12 13 oops and okay, so the next thing what we're going to do is, as you see, we're taking each one of these columns as representing a light. So if we were outputting a signal of 15 here, we want 4 lights on. If we were outputting a signal of 14, we'd want 3 lights but not the last one on. So as you can see, these all represent a light being on or off. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do some OR gates to see whether or not a specific light will be on. So as you can see from this, say for example we're doing our first light, you can see that all the odd numbers in here have got a 1 in that last column. Whereas if we look at the second one, well, that is only in 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 11, 14, 15. If we were doing the third number, we want anything that's got a 1 in the 4 column. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 doesn't need that, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, and then the final one would be anything that's represented with an 8 in that column. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So if we go into here, right, next we're going to need some OR gates. So we go down here, we've got an output. Now we're not going to make this directly to a coloured output because, as I said earlier, these programmable Rednet controllers just don't seem to like having two things controlled in one colour. So we're going to first of all have, we've already got variable 16, so 15, so we can say variable 16 and 17 control the ones column. So that's 16, so we're going to make all these variables. So we want variable 1, 3, 5 and 7. Next one, we'll do another OR gate. All variables, so we got up to 7, so 9, 11, 13 and 15, and we'll output to variable 17. And now we'll just do a 2 input OR if it's variable 16 or 17, we'll output to the right the first colour. Okay, so next, so now we need to do that for the 2 column. So we want 2 4 input OR gates. So the 2 column would be anything that's 2, 3, 6 or 7, and we'll output to variable 18 this time. And then the next one, so, and the next ones would be 10, 11, 14 and 15. And we'll output to 19. And then a 2 gate here, and this will control our second colour. Oops, no, I want to output to the right, our second colour. So we're going to now do this for the next 3. I'll speed up the video through this bit just so it can save you having to watch it. You just watch me do it a lot quicker than me sitting here waffling over it. So as you can see here, we've now got anything that's in the 1 column, any number that would be represented by the 1 column being active, output the white, the 2 column active, output the orange, and that's controlled by 18, 19. We output the mauve, I think that would be, on variables 20 and 21 with the 4 column being active, and then finally the blue with that. So what we should now be able to do, if I've done this right, just exit, if we go into and we do redstone.set analog output, right, and we'll say 15. We should see our last 4 come up. Okay, and then let's choose something that's sort of funky. If we go for, let's put out 6, so we should only see the middle 2 up. Did I do that right? Redstone.set analog output. So we've obviously done something wrong there because we're not seeing the middle two come up. Let's double check that. So 6 should be output in orange. So have I messed up on the actual variables here? I think I have. Ha! Yeah, I'm so smooth. There we go. Okay, so it's usually worth doing a little bit of testing going here. What I would do is I'd just go through and do all the numbers. I'm assuming this is going to be okay, but let me just double check. I've done this a couple of times now, so I can't see anything other than that. That looks a mess, but we'll test it as it goes. So, right, so we've got those colours set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to copy program downloaded from memory card to PRC. So, oh, I think I've uploaded my old program that I did. Let's just double check here. I mean, no, I think that's our program. Yes, I have downloaded my old program. It's exactly the same thing, my old program. As you can see, I've just done it in a different order. Okay, so now we're going to upload that with one of these memory cards so you can see what it is. PRC memory card. Yeah, I do apologise. This is going to look different now because the first time I did this I was building it over there. I've obviously left my used my wrong memory card there. I do apologise, but as you can see, it's exactly the same thing, except for these are just a little bit around differently. But you can see they're the same numbers controlled in the same variables. It's just that I put that one at the end there, and they control the same output. So exactly the same thing. I just also had all the outputs so they're easy to use. So if we now look at these and we go all the way along to the end, we should see the same thing. So let's start with our left hand side is going to be our biggest numbers. So we've got black, red, green and brown. Let's set the time. So if we now go along here, well, our variable for, we'll go backwards on this. So our biggest output is going to be, we're going to want that on the black. Second biggest is 1 back from the black. Third, 2 back from the black. And there you go. So what we should, no, brown should be the last one, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yes, okay. So we've done that chunk there. Let's use something to represent that. So we know we've done those ones. And once again, let's output to the left this time. So we'll output to the left and we'll do the same sort of test. We'll do this with 9, which should be, no. So that's obviously not working. You know what it is? I've changed all of these to forwards. Okay. Right. Here we go. Okay. Do apologise about that. Is I have obviously messed up the actual colours there. Input from the left, output to the right, and has this messed up here somehow by any chance at the input? Yes, it has. There we go. So we're going to have to double check that these inputs and outputs are on the right sides. Or the correct sides, better not say right if we're using right and left. So we go 9 is outputting right there. Let's do 6 just to double check. Yep, and now let's do 15. There we go. Right, so now let's have a look at this one. So let's take it, we've got to change that to left. Oops. There we go, and then go all the way up to these ones. So this top one is going to represent our next chunk of numbers. Excuse me. And I think the reason that that is actually doing back and front is because those ones over there are aligned a different direction, so it's changing the align here. So we've got dark blue, purple, light blue, light grey for our biggest numbers. So let's make that right and right, right and right. So this is our biggest number. Let's just go backwards. So we've got, yeah, dark blue, light blue, and next should be light grey. There we go. So now if we do the same tests, if we do output top, we'll do it as 9 again, which should only be the first and last. Yep. Let's just put our next one there. And we'll do 6 again, which should be the other two. Yep. And then we'll do 15. Yep, they're all on. Okay. And now this one is going to control our next chunk of numbers. So that's going to be from the dark grey through to the yellow. And we already know that these ones work, although we may have to, yeah, we have to change the colours on them. Oh, that was really dumb for me to do that memory card, wasn't it? The way I did it. Okay, so this is our next chunk. So output into the right, 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 and right. So it's our biggest number. It's going to be dark grey. It's going to be the one before the dark grey, which is that. This one is going to be, as you see, I'm going backwards here along the number. So this is going to be the last digit, which would be the one yellow. Okay. And now we just need to make sure that input is on the right place. Might as well go forwards. There we go. It's coming from the left. Okay, and then we'll just do the same test on the back. Yep. 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 Okay. And now we just need to change the, just so we know where our numbers are. And now we just need to change the orientation on this first one again, because I am a numbnuts. I'm quite happy with my numbnut status. Right, 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 and right. White, orange, mauve and or purple, and blue. And we'll do it. And there we go. That's the numbers we should have been displaying earlier when we left it. Okay. Right, so now we're going to build the program that's going to control all of this. And I'm going to build it in a way that it could just be a function that you could call. Actually, I'm just going to build it and we'll go through and you can change it into function as you want. So let's get this started. Okay, I had to stop the video there because we had yet another helicopter overhead. Okay, so let's make ourselves a new program. We'll call it bundled stuff. There we go. Right, so the first thing we're going to want to do is take an input from the user. So if we go local, what that does is that means that this will only be used in this program, that local, if you're making a variable. We'll just, and to save us typing, we're just going to call it x equals io.read. And then we want to take x equals to number x. And what we'll do is just double check we've got that written out right. We'll go print x, oh, not b, x. Let's double save that. Let's do bundled stuff. There we go. So let's edit stored stuff. I'll just make sure we got that right. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need a number to hold our outputs, and it's just easy to define it here. So once again, we'll go local out. We'll just call it output. Now the first thing we need to check is that this number is not going to be too big to put into our system. So 65536 would be the number that is represented by the 17th digit in binary. So we're going to say if it's less than that, all is good. I also forgot, we want to make that output 0 to start with, because obviously if no number comes in, then we want to be outputting 0. We don't want any lights coming on for no reason. So if we go if x is less than 65536, then, and then we'll just do an end here. Right, so this is going to contain everything in here. So we've got our output is 0 from the top there. Let's go, okay, so if x, we'll have to do brackets here, x divided by, I've got a bit of paper I've got written down here, 32768 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus, so this means it is divisible by 1, that number is in there, that should be on. So we'd say, okay, this is x equal to, take away this from it, so 32768. Now this is representing the 8 digit on our first output on the left, so we go output equals output plus. Now we don't need to do this here, we could just say it's 8, but just so you can see the method we're going by, end. Now we don't want to do else if statements here, we just want to do a series of if statements. This could be probably done far more coherently, but this is just so you can see exactly what's going on. So next we need to do our next set of digits. So if x divided by, so we've already taken that 32,768 out, 16384 is greater than, God, terrible typing, greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 16384, output equals, now this is where we do need to say add 1 to what it currently is, and then we need to end that. So we're going to have to do this through quite a few iterations of this. So we take the next number down, which is 8192, it's greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus, it does get a lot easier to type these out as we go along. And then the final one for our left output, 4096 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 4096, output equals output plus 1, end. Right, so now we've got our first output to the left, and that's controlling our biggest numbers. We now need to send the right redstone signal out, so we go redstone dot set analog output left output, which is the name of our thing there. Now the next thing we need to do is set output back to 0, so output equal 0. Now we're going to do our next chunk of numbers. So if x divided by 2048, not 46, is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 2048, equals, we'll cheat that way. I said up there, if it's at 0, then we're going to be setting it to 0 anyway. So setting it to 8, might as well not mess around. If x divided by 1024 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 1024, output equals output plus 4, end. Now, anyone who's done programming before may have noticed that I'm not using something that most programming languages have, which is where you can just go x plus equals x or x minus equals x. It doesn't seem to work in this. I had a play around with it and it did not work, so I'm just playing it safe. Okay, so just doing our second chunk of numbers here, and it's our final one. X divided by 256. Oops. It's greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 256, output equals output plus 1, end. So once again, we need to do set our redstone output. Please excuse my terrible typing. So let's just double check here. So this one was our smallest chunk of numbers, I believe. Let's just double check. Yes. So this one is our larger chunk. Yeah. Okay. So we want the output to the top. Once again, output equals 0. Right, we've got 2 more times to go through this and we are done. So if x divided by 128 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 128, output equals 8, and if x divided by 64 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 64. No, I don't like that. Just always get paranoid it's going to mess up. Output equals output plus 4, and if x divided by 32 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 32, output equals output plus 4. Now the reason I'm also, this may seem very boring watching me go through all this, but the reason I'm doing this is that I don't want to post up a generic program for people to use, because this is going to be playing with outputs on sides that you choose to do, etc, etc. So I don't want to do that and then have people trying to trawl through my program if they know a better way to do this, or having problems because I've chosen sides that they haven't chosen. Example, if you could just follow through on this using the sides that you're using, I think that's probably less likely to cause problems. So we've done our last chunk of numbers. We know that's back. Yep. So let's do redstone. Excuse me, my voice is going. Dot set analog output back output, and the final chunk, output equals 0 if x divided by 8 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 8, output equals 8. This is the easiest one to do. If x divided by 4 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 4, output equals output plus 4, not 5, and if x over 2 is greater than or equal to 1, then x equals x minus 2, pedantic again, to apologise, output excuse me, equals output plus 2, and if x divided by 1 is greater than or equal to 1, then, well, we should say is equal to 1, but you know what, greater than or equal to 1. It's not going to be greater than because we've deleted everything before anyway, so x equals x minus 1. We don't even need to do that, to be honest, because we're not using x any further than this, but you know, when in Rome and all that. And then redstone dot set analog output right output. Okay, we should be ready to rock and roll. Let's do a test of this. Right, what we'll do is we'll do the biggest possible number we can get in there. So I believe it was bundled stuff. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Woo! They're all on. Awesome. Right, now let's test it with some random numbers. Right, let's go for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 6th, 10th, 12th, 14th and 16th numbers on. I've already written this down. So bundled stuff 43559. Now we should be seeing okay, so that's not coming up right, is it? Apart from that though, okay, so that's missing. Did I put in the right number? Here's the question. Did. Okay, so that first one's obviously not working because it's counting it as that, because what we should be seeing is the 16th, the 14th, and what we're seeing is the 15th and the 13th and the 12th. So I suspect I've done something wrong. And to start that, let's double check. Edit bundled stuff. Oh, that was smooth. Can't spell the program right. So if x is less than okay. 32768 greater than or equal to 1, then put equals output plus 8. 32768. So that should be coming on, but it's not. You know what I think I've done here? I think I've inverted the colours on here, haven't I? I have. What an Egypt. What I've done here is I put the colours back to front. There we go. Right, now we're getting it right. Okay, the program was fine. It was setting it up was wrong. Okay, so we should have the 16th number, yes. The 14th number, yes. The 12th number, yes. So that would be, yep. So we should have blue. 12th number, the 10th number, yep. And then we should be seeing the 6th number, yep. And then the last 3 numbers, yep. Okay, so we're done. Phew. Panicking that I've done terrible programming there. Well, I suppose it could still be argued that's terrible programming, but still. Yeah, so as you can see, like, it can be a bit finicky, but now we've got this. Let's throw in some random numbers here. So we'll do, I think I should be able to do bundled stuff. Right, okay, so let's choose a random number. Let's go for the 11th signal, do 1024. Just be seeing that one on. Yes. Right, let's go for the 16th signal. Just that on. Yes. Okay. Let's do the 16th signal plus the first 4. So that would be 32768 plus 15. So we had 73, 83. So that should be 32783. Yep, last 4 and the top one. Okay, so it looks like it's working okay. And that's how you do that, and that's how you get your full functionality. Do apologise if this video was boring. I hope it's been useful. I hope you don't hate me for all the waffling I've done, and I hope you have a great time playing around with this and having fun in Minecraft, because it's awesome and stuff like that. Have a great day.